Many of us walk through our daily lives almost as if we're sleepwalking. And Moses could have just as easily have, if he were in that state of sleepwalking and just say, ho hum, here's another day, and there's this burning bush in his peripheral vision that is burning the bush but not consuming it, and there's some kind of miraculous, extraordinary, supernatural event going on here, he could have just as easily glanced at it and said, oh, geez, that's kind of interesting, and just proceeded on his merry way without breaking stride. But thank you, Moses, for being alert enough, for being open enough, that he took a few steps closer and was filled with awe and wonder. And from there came the whole being able to receive the message of the Spirit. But he first had to recognize the presence. So if we're building a community based on shamans who have been made to believe by our experiences, who have been made to believe by that dramatic, extraordinary presence of the Spirit, the first block of our foundation for this community is going to be all of us have the openness, have the shaman eyes, have the shaman heart to recognize and respond to this invitation the Spirit is giving us through these dramatic displays. This invitation to the kingdom of heaven, back to that old parable from Jesus of the king sending out the invitation to his community. I'm having a wedding feast. Come, celebrate with me this joyous occasion. And so many of these members of the community were like these sleepwalkers, so locked up in their daily business, they refuse the invitation. They don't recognize that this is the moment, the opportunity, when this extraordinary opportunity comes upon us with the presence of the Spirit, with this invitation, this presence that is pulling us back into the cabaret, into this extraordinary zone, out of that ordinary zone of our daily lives. We have to be open to that experience. We have to recognize it and say yes to that invitation to the wedding feast. Sinead O'Connor has a song I love, where her metaphor for the kingdom of heaven, or her metaphor for the Spirit's presence, her metaphor for this cabaret where extraordinary promotions and initiations take place, she just calls it a good time. But she says, here's a good time. Now, if it were presented to you, she says, would you even recognize it? We're all looking for a good time. We're all looking for a good life. We're all looking to maximize our potential. Yet when the opportunity comes to take an extraordinary promotion in that direction, would we even recognize that opportunity, she's saying? When our heart is gushing, as mine was gushing on that mountaintop, on that camping trip, this amorous waterfall, this seizure for this woman, I recognized it. I didn't say, oh, this is inconvenient for me. This might cause a disruption in my life. I had the recognition to know not only is it not a distraction, but it's the only important thing.